Wizards of the Coast has quite the start to 2025. Gamers everywhere are just puking in their mouths at the decisions this company's making. From the new Monsters Manual to this new decision to hire Corrine Busche, whose real name is Andrew Busche, to the Dragon Age the Veilguard director to a new Dungeons & Dragons video game, which we'll get to in just a moment, and how this all broke. Very interesting stuff right here. Hit the like and subscribe button. Join us as we talk about all things in the culture, my friends. And I am a fantasy author myself. I write some good fantasy stories. If Wizards of the Coast had anything in their right mind, maybe they'd hire me to do a D&D adventure game for them. That'd be a lot of fun. But for now, I do have a 6-book series, and this is an airship crew that goes out and quests, fights monsters, gets embroiled in a war. This is a lot of fun. This is everything that Dragon Age should have been. This is everything that a D&D quest with a little bit of steampunk thrown in could be. You'll absolutely love this if you like fantasy settings, guys. So check this out. It's in the description below. And make sure to grab it on ebook, print, and audio. Either way, it's a lot of fun. It's a 6-book series again, and it picks up so good as it builds up, my friends. Grab the whole series today. Thank you for the support. All right. So according to multiple sources, Wizards of the Coast has hired Andrew Busche, a man who pretends to be a woman and calls himself Corrine Busche, to the director of Dragon Age the Veilguard to work on a new video game edition of Dungeons & Dragons, placing him at Skeleton Key Studios. Wizards of the Coast, as you guys know, is already under fire from tabletop gamers with their mishandling of the D&D property, including the new virtue signaling extreme leftist politics. The recent Monster Manual edition caused the latest uproar by removing orcs as monsters entirely. Yes, they did. If you did not watch my video on that, I did a whole deal about their removal of orcs and then all the crazy creatures that they've changed in this new edition of the Monsters Manual, which is just disgusting and completely woke, which they're proud of. They're proud of changing things. They're proud of bastardizing things, and it's really, really sad when you see this going along like this. My gosh. So, before the Monster Manual was promoted, though, the 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide infamously incorporated BDSM fetish community practices for the game for safe spaces, having their players making an X with their arms if they feel triggered by a situation, which requires the DM to stop the game and address the player in question. The 2024 Player's Handbook is filled with imagery of BIPOC and female characters at a margin of more than 5-to-1 compared to white male characters. It's about the direct opposite of the demographics who play the game, and it's the first time we've seen something like this in a Dungeons & Dragons edition. They're clearly trying to replace people who play the game with this new modern audiences out there that doesn't exist. Now, Dungeons & Dragons also came under scrutiny last year when it was revealed senior designer Jason Tondreau penned a foreword to the history book of Dungeons & Dragons calling Gary Gygax misogynistic and accusing him of cultural appropriations. Now, Diversity in Dragons, great channel, guys. If you don't subscribe to them, go do so. They're the best D&D channel out there. They had an inside source at Wizards of the Coast told him a company has infamous game designer of Dragon Age the Veilguard, who added extreme transgender propaganda into the fantasy video game series. And that's what we got here. And if you don't know what happened to Dragon Age the Veilguard because you're a tabletop RPG person who watches this channel, doesn't do video game, Dragon Age is a long-time fantasy series with a bunch of steampunk elements, a lot of fun. Loved the original games. And of course, with this new edition, it's filled with transgender propaganda. You have a character creator with top scars. You have people lecturing you on pronouns and making you do push-ups if you misgender a person. Every white male in the game is pretty much evil, and every minority and lesbian and all that is good. It's really painful to watch this game and what they did with it. As a result, it sold terribly. BioWare originally reported that it only sold 1.5 million copies, which is low for a video game like that. Conservative estimates showed that it needed about 5 million copies sold to break even on this and make a profit. And, of course, later it came out that they didn't even sell that many. Now, Corrine Busche ditched the company immediately upon this. I'm out. I ruined the game, and I'm out. Flouncing, like epic destruction of a company. And BioWare then got hit with massive layoffs. Everybody from the story team development got removed from BioWare at this point as they're focusing on Mass Effect. Usually these games have additional downloadable content that they start developing and things like that once there's a success. Not this for Dragon Age. It's completely dead. And BioWare is now gutted to a skeleton of less than 100 people at the developer. This is the damage that's done when you have a woke activist like Corrine Busche leading your games and in your company. And this dude is one of the worst woke activists in the entire industry out there. We've covered it multiple times before. So Wizards of the Coast, what do you do at this point? When you see this person out of a job, well, you pick them up. Now, if you don't know, Wizards of the Coast, the tabletop industry, is, if you're from the video game side, is way worse than video games. They are completely woke activists in all of it. All of these companies are really bad. Wizards is bad. Paizo with the Pathfinder's bad. The worst one is Onyx Path, the people who do World of Darkness. They're the wokest out of all of them. And it's just a complete train wreck of an industry at this point. These people are true believers. They don't make nearly as much money as video games. So they're all miserable, broke SJWs. And that's what they do on this level, is just churn out these game contents over and over and over again, which I described at the very beginning of this video. So Corrine Busche now is getting hired on the side of Wizards of the Coast. And this is what's happening at this level. So Busche posted a Blue Sky before about the BioWare leaving. I've heard, yes, I've made the decision to leave BioWare. I want to encourage everyone not to read too much into this. You should read into it, is what that means. This was my decision so I could continue making the kind of RPGs we enjoy. Now, this is talking to his woke activist fans on Blue Sky. And this is where it's all going to tie in. These are the kind of RPGs these people enjoy, which are not many people. Thank you for the outpouring of love and support. They mean the world to me. He added in a subsequent post, thank you for entrusting me with our dear Dragon Age. It was an honor to be a steward for the franchise. That's stewardship. And play a part in ensuring its continuance. Biggest shout-outs to the wonderful John Epler, without whom I don't know if I'd have the fortitude. Well, an inside source has told Diversity and Dragons that Skeleton Key Studios has hired Busche to work on a new official Dungeons & Dragons video game. Now, this is very interesting that they're doubling down on woke Dungeons & Dragons to make a new video game on another level, because this just shut down. This is Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance. This was worked on by the diverse and inclusive consultants of all of them. You see the black female and the homos here. Sweet Baby Inc. And this game will be shut down at the end of February 2025. The developer actually said about this, will be shutting down Dark Alliance servers. It will no longer be available for purchase. The base game and all downloadable content are available for play offline and single player for anybody who owns it, but they are no longer going to be supporting it. Now, Sweet Baby Inc. Is credited in the game credits, and CEO Belair and Adrienne McGillivray are credited as game writers. So they had the woke people make this game. It was completely disastrous. Only 9,000 concurrent players on this. And as you look a couple years later, there's only 4 players playing at all. It's a completely dead game because nobody wants to play these terrible stories written by these people. Now, Corrine Busche is one of these people. And guess what? This is where it is. Now, Smash JT, also a video game expert with Inside Industry Contracts, confirmed this rumor to me. He talked to me this morning and verified that he works at Wizards of the Coast. It's all connected behind the scenes, he told me, when asking about the strange timing behind the BioWare layoffs and then the shutdown of the SBI-influenced Dungeons & Dragons video game. Since that point, it's been confirmed that Busche is in fact working at the company via his LinkedIn. Even the mainstream media is reporting it. So Diversity and Dragons got an amazing scoop yesterday talking about this, and you can see exactly where this is going to lead. We've seen the last Dungeons & Dragons woke element with Dark Alliances completely fail. We've seen Wizards of the Coast destroy the tabletop game with wokeism in their current edition. And they're doubling down, and of course we've seen what Corrine Busche has done to Dragon Age. You just mix this up, it's going to be a giant poop sandwich, in my opinion, with poop in the middle, poop on either end as the buns, and that's exactly what you're going to get here. Just a big pile of poop when this game actually comes out. Yeah, I am, I don't know. That's the only way I can think of to make a metaphor. Was that a good metaphor, chat? Leave a comment down below and let me know about this. Love to hear from you. Thank you guys for watching. Big news today. Hit the like and subscribe button, and make sure to check out some good fantasy from some excellent writers. Me. Of course, this is the good stuff that doesn't have any of the woke nonsense in it. You're going to love it. It's in the description below. A 6-book series, like I said. Lots of fun. Grab it and start your reading today.